the Unfazed Review Podcast. I'm Ben Claus.
I'm Emmett Claus.
And we want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a festive Kwanza. So it's been a while since we've done a pod, and this seemed like an appropriate time to come at you with a nice, juicy Christmas podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, Merry Christmas to all. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy, yeah.
Looking at you, Warhammer.
Yeah, it's been a long time because this winter really kicked our asses, and everyone's asses when it came to like colds and the flu and the sickness all together.
It was Nar
It was really bad. Yeah, we were both sick on and off for months.
Yeah, you can still kind of hear it in my voice a little bit. Like, I had a really rough sinus infection. I did like 12 days of antibiotics. Like, I was miserable and hurt. And then before that, I had a really gnarly flu that just like kicked my ass.
Yeah, I'm not fully well yet either.
Yeah, so it's been pretty rough. So my apologies for not giving you that much content lately, but health comes first, you know?
Yeah.
We got to be healthy so we can make you guys more content.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, because if we do a bunch of sick vlogs, you don't want to hear us sniffling in the camera the whole time, you know?
Yeah, it really hit everyone hard and strong, and I think it was because of last year, because everything was like more closed off and there was all the social distancing stuff, and then the I think it
hit everyone very hard and very wet and very rough.
Yeah, and
I remember saying.
Yeah, I remember going into the season, there were people like professionals warning us that this was going to happen. Like, it was really going to hit hard because
Dr. Snowman said you're going to get fucked.
And boy, were they right.
Yeah,
I still like when it gets right before bed in the morning, I still get this little tickle in my throat. I start coughing and stuff. I need to keep taking cough drops and stuff. It's like it just never goes away. I've never had anything linger this long. And it's annoying.
It's been a linger longer lounge.
Yeah, it really is a linger longer lounge. Yeah.
It's you know what's crazy is tell me if any of you guys have experienced this. Way back in October, I took a trip down to Tucson, and I was feeling kind of sick then. I noticed I was getting kind of sick.
Yeah,
I was coughing. Then I started to feel a bit better around Halloween time, but it was still, I kind of had this cough when we went to Universal and we did all that stuff, which was like around Halloween time. And then I'd say like the first 2 weeks in November I was good, I was kind of back at it, and then I got sick again, like right around Thanksgiving, and it's like been consistently just shitty. So, I don't know. So I don't know what the answer is, but maybe when you open doorknobs, use your shirt, which I've always done even pre-COVID.
Yeah, I should have worn my mask at work and shit, because kids were giving it to each other, coughing, sneezing, teachers were getting sick, everyone was,
Kids are gross.
Yeah, you don't know how to close their mouths when they cough or any of that jazz.
And also, I've mentioned this many times previously, but it seems like anywhere you go, people are sneezing and coughing very freely.
Yeah.
And I know some people say, well, maybe you just notice it more because of COVID. I don't think so.
No, you've always noticed it.
I've always noticed it. But it seems like anytime you go to the movies, you guys go to the movie theater, there's always someone hacking. Mm-hmm. Like the past 2 times I've gone, there's someone like hacking up a lung, dying. And then like a lot of restaurants, seems like people, you think after COVID they'd be more aware of it, and kind of be like, oh, I'm sorry, It seems like they're like, they're broadcasting it, and I'm like, fuck you. It's disgusting. I'm trying to eat my chalupa in peace.
Man. Well, I hope after this year everything will go back to the normal illness, because I've never had winter like affect me, because it's never. One, I've never been like that cold. I feel like winters in the past haven't been as cold. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe
this has been a very, very cold winter.
Yeah, it's been super cold. Yeah. And I've never like been like shivering at night and like really need lots of layers.
Shiver me timbers.
I've never been like sick because of winter. That always felt like such an archaic thing to me, like getting ill when it gets cold out. Like we have like air conditioning. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
That's never happened to me until this year. I've just gotten like destroyed.
Yeah, this year too.
Yeah,
knocked me on my ass.
It's crazy.
And previously, I usually was a big advocate for the flu shot, but did not get this one this year because the needles,
getting lots of shots.
It seemed like the government was a little too into our, But anyway, I just decided I was like, I'm going to wait this year, and I actually wish I would have gotten a flu shot because it knocked me on my ass so hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope the Unfazed crew is doing well. I hope you guys are staying fit and strong and getting swole for the winter for Santa Claus.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as let's talk about movies. I saw Violent Night. Which was actually enjoyable.
We were at the mall yesterday, and this random old woman, was raving about how good it was.
The one that you kindly opened the door for.
Yeah, she had this walker thing, and she's like shuffling towards the door, and I was right there, so I was like, all right.
And then it's like, come on, Granny.
Yeah, and then she like stops midway as I'm holding the door and just talks to me about Violent Night and how good it was.
I love the gore. Look how strong you are, young man.
She was literally like, I've been going to the... I hope not, Jesus. She's literally said, like, I've been going to the movies for 80 years and nothing came close.
Wow.
So, I don't know.
I mean, it was...
There it is.
was good. It was fun. It was good. It's exactly what you'd expect from the trailer, but I wouldn't say it was mind blowing. But you know, if you like Nobody, if you like John Wick, this isn't the caliber of those, but it's still really good.
It's got to be kind of jokey, right? I mean,
the premise is silly. Bit of humor, a lot of good gore. It's good.
So what is it? Everyone's trying to kill Santa or something?
Yeah, it's like basically the premise of Die Hard, except Santa Claus is coming to deliver gifts as like a terrorist situation unfolds, and they like come in to like kill or take hostage Santa, and Santa's like, I'm gonna fuck you guys up, and Santa like kicks ass.
All these like joke movies are coming out now. There's also Cocaine Bear.
Yeah,
like, what the hell?
Ray Liotta's final swan.
Yeah, and there's all like and then there's what a final movie, Jesus. All these like incredible guys have the lamest final movie.
Yeah, Marlon Brando was like Boss Baby.
Yeah,
it was like a Boss Baby knockoff.
Yeah, Paul Newman was like Cars 3. Oh, it's terrible. Cocaine Bear, and then there's all of those horror movies based on like Winnie the Pooh and the Grinch and shit that are coming out.
I don't know about
They're not out yet, but they're on their way.
They're based on them?
Because of the copyright is gone out of those characters, so these weirdos are just like going to town. Making Pooh Bear like a killer.
I find that so funny. It's kind of part of that meme culture, and like it's a lot of thing that a lot of the kind of hipster filmmakers do. It's like, oh, we need to make this like raunchy and dark and sarcastic, and it'll be cool. Oh, dude, there's so much stuff that like I've seen recently that's doing that, where it's just so uncool.
I don't like how that stuff's coming back. I thought that was cool for a while and it went away, and now it's coming back again. Yeah.
Oh, there was one that I saw recently. Like, I know we saved the email stuff for the end, but this is one I got to talk about while I'm thinking about it, because it might get lost in the shuffle because we have so much shit to talk about.
Yeah.
Just look at this. So my comment on this was, quit trying to be cool, Rolling Stone magazine. It's over. Go ahead and look at the post that they did.
I'm so high. Rolling Stone's Miles Sklee went to see Avatar high on shrooms. Oh my god.
And they're like, ooh.
It was an experience.
I hate them. Yeah.
That stuff's so dumb.
Isn't that obnoxious? I'm like, we know you're like 37 and trying to be cool, and it's like, there's nothing wrong with being 37 and actually being cool, but when you're like doing it that way, it's just so shitty. It's like someone that's like, it's like the barista at Lux, trying to be like overly ironic. Yeah.
The thing I hate about that stuff is like, if you want to do that, that's fine. I'm sure it was fun, but they always treat it like, this is going to be this amazing experience.
Yeah.
And it's like, like you're watching a movie and getting high, I'm sure that's fun and whatever, but it's like, they treat it like it's like something of great caliber that they've achieved.
Yeah. My thing is, quit trying to sound cool and like you're really doing something wacky and edgy. You're Rolling Stone magazine and like you lost your edge like in 1979.
Yeah.
Like it's like, I don't know, man.
I know.
I don't know. And there's something about it that just seems kind of phony.
It's super funny,
yeah. I don't use that word too loosely, but
man, that Michael Jordan is so phony.
He thinks you're a phony. Me a phony? Jerry!
Oh, God.
That character wasn't utilized that much. He was super annoying.
Yeah, he was super annoying.
What was his name?
I don't remember, but he cracked... Mike, yeah.
Yeah.
He cracked Jerry up in the bloopers.
Yeah. It's funny. It's super funny.
Jerry Seinfeld!
I got a Seinfeld question for you, and I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on this as well. If you could take a supporting character from Seinfeld who only appeared maybe, let's say, 1 to 3 times in Seinfeld, and could give them a more substantial role in Seinfeld, who would you pick?
Okay.
You can't pick like Putty because he was in like 11 or 12.
Right, yeah. He's
it's got to be someone that was like in there like just a couple times.
Yeah, he's just too recurring.
The first one that comes to mind for me that I can kind of think of would be like Jackie Childs.
Yeah, more Jackie.
Jackie's in there, I think, like maybe like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Like he was like...
Jackie was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Man.
Who do you think?
Shit.
You're a big Seinfeld. It's a huge Seinfeld guy.
I am. Wow, that's a tough one. I think the manager of the Monk's Coffee Shop.
Oh,
yeah. He was funny, and he was like barely in it. You know,
he was funny. Yeah. If you boys can't sell that, another good one. Actually, Apu was funny as fuck.
Oh yeah,
Apu,
yeah.
I'm glad Newman became a substantial character because Newman originally, you know this, but the audience might not. Newman originally was just a voice off screen, and I'm pretty sure it was originally voiced by Larry David.
Probably, yeah.
And then they went back and they, for the syndication, they went back and overdubbed it with Wayne Knight to make it consistent.
Yeah.
Same as how George had a different dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jerry had a different dad too.
Yeah, but in the pilot they never changed Jerry's dad.
Yeah.
They didn't change the pilot.
Thank God they didn't like CGI the dads.
Yeah. Morty was so good. Yeah. But
oh my god,
dude, going with Frank Costanza as Jerry Stiller was like the move.
Yeah, it really was.
He was so good.
I would like to see CGI Jerry Stiller.
Yes, yes. But yeah, his original dad, you can find it online. He was like a more kind of unassuming guy.
Yeah, just some dude.
But they went back and reshot it like a couple years later, which I always think is so crazy. Like you don't even notice in the show.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really good.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, we don't talk enough about Seinfeld on here. One day we should do a whole Seinfeld cast.
We really should.
Yeah.
I love that. Seinfeld is...
I don't know if I would have the energy to do a full series on it, but I might.
Yeah. It is like just the coziest show you can just throw on, and it's always funny.
It's the best.
You don't have to watch it in chronological order. That's a big thing that I had trouble with.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to just stick through a show.
Watch it random, Watch it random. That's always how I watched it growing up.
Yeah, I like being able to throw one on. Yeah, I never watched it in chronological order until it was on Netflix, because that's how it's presented to you.
Yeah, but even then it's like I almost kind of prefer it random.
Yeah, I do too.
Because then it's kind of like, oh, I never know what I'm going to get. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah, we were both talking about how it feels like weird to watch it in chronological order.
It does.
It feels like wrong in a way.
It does, yeah. It feels almost like I'm like... I kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the other thing that I noticed more of is that there are like underlying plot lines that keep going through. But like I'd almost rather not notice them. You know?
Yeah,
that's weird. Yeah,
exactly. I am glad I'm watching it in order though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like unless you watched it from the get go, and you were a religious watcher, probably nobody watched every episode in order except for Jerry and Larry. And the cast.
Yeah,
but. I don't know. I'm really glad we're revisiting it again. I mean, it's not like it ever went away. I never took a break from Seinfeld. It's always perpetually been on.
Absolutely.
But it is cool watching it in order.
Yeah.
I was reading a comment recently where someone was saying, Friends sucks and Seinfeld sucks, and I'm like, I can kind of understand where they're coming from on Friends, where it's like, I'm not ripping on Friends, but I think Seinfeld's better. Yeah. But the fact that someone couldn't like either of those,
they're just trying to be cool. They probably like.
It's like people that don't like the Beatles.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Here it goes. Ready? Oh, the Christmas baldness is here. That was getting hot under that.
This is a really hot hat.
Yeah. I gotta take it off.
That's a bad hat, Harry.
Woo!
I wrote one thing down for the pod.
Oh, really?
So
the email is overflowing.
Oh God, we'll get to the emails.
It's like a sewer in Memphis.
Whenever I'm in my car, I have to watch or listen to NPR.
Your one source of news.
One source of news.
Yeah.
And I've honestly thought about having like a Twitter account where it's like 3 seconds of NPR, because what I'll do is I'll turn it on, and like 9 times out of 10, the first words out of their mouth are like, empowering the POCs and like shit like that. It's like all these buzzwords,
Yeah.
It's like always just this random mouthful of buzzwords.
Fighting misogyny.
Yeah. And so it's tough though, because sometimes they have genuinely really cool stories. There was like a lot of their science segments are cool. There's a segment about I heard a snippet of it, but I wasn't in my car when it was actually airing. But there was something about how they've discovered that time isn't actually linear and consistent, which is like bizarre to think about. But like it was going to be this. That's really interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to know more about that.
I want to hear about
but then unfortunately that was just like an ad, and then what I actually got, like this is a perfect example of their weird, like, trying to shoehorn leftist stuff into situations, even when it has nothing to do with the situation. So, they said, what was it? Okay, yeah, the abortion ban disproportionately affects Latinas because there are more, demographically, more young, sexually active Latinas. And they were, like, what's the point of even... what are we going to do about that? Like, why would you even mention that? Like, what's the point? And like, there's shit like that. I was like, then they said it in a way like, oh, we really need to, like, this is racist. Like, we need to do something to help the Latinos. It's like what?
I mean, what can I say?
Yeah,
Carmen is horny.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
No, it's just like that's, I don't know. That just blew my mind, because. But what was the fucking point? And they say shit like that all the time. They'll just say it, and I don't know, like, how are you supposed to digest
It's
that?
an odd comment.
Yeah. It's like I get it. Like, the abortion ban thing is a little intense. I mean, whatever your feelings on that are. I know a lot of women are like kind of scared, and I get it. But like there was literally no reason to mention that, and I'm not disbelieving that it's true. I'm sure it's true, but it's completely arbitrary.
Carmen got it on. She's getting it on right now.
It's so weird that they would highlight shit like that. Like, there's just no point. And they do shit like that all the time, and it's like sickening. It's deranged, and it's like
So what
bizarre.
NPR is telling me is that there's hot, horny Latinos in my area.
Yeah, that's what they're telling you. Yeah. And they're also telling you that I think the Mexican American community has more unprotected sex. I think that's true. But it's just like what. Like, there's nothing that anyone can do about that. It's just.
I'm waiting for the problem.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
These all sound like good things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, that's why NPR is so like frustrating, but at the same time they do have like good stories and shit every once in a while.
Yeah, NPR seems like kind of like when you watch PBS. You ever watch PBS as an adult? So like I used to enjoy PBS as a kid. It was like, you got the Antiques Roadshow, you got the Mr. Rogers. It was fun. But you watch it as an adult once in a while, like obviously not very often. Usually like my parents will have it on and I'll like catch a glimpse of something. And it'll be like, Ken Burns, The Old West, and then they're like, here's 20 minutes about racism. Yeah. And then it's like, whoa, what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It does seem very, like you said, shoehorned in.
Yeah.
Where it feels almost like maybe that could be...
always try to spin it.
Yeah, like that could be maybe like a component of the story to touch on maybe in like a certain instance.
Yeah, right.
But where it becomes like a focal point where they're like putting like this weird kind of like agenda into like every show you watch, it's kind of like, what is this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like how is that specific thing, like how is that anyone's fault? How is anyone going to do anything about that? Yeah. What's the point of even mentioning that other than just to like say the Latinos are disproportionately something, because they're always talking about shit like that. But it's like, it's always just, they try to spin everything so it's something like that. And I mean, I should mention that I try to listen to NPR because I want with every fiber of my being to give these guys the benefit of the doubt and to...
you always go back to them.
I do. I'm always trying to extend an olive branch because they're... I mean, I get so frustrated so much of the time, and I wish I didn't. Like, I wish I could understand them, Yeah. And like, there's a part of me that, like, wants to believe them.
Well, it seems like there's an element that's, like, quite academic, and, like, you think that they're coming from a good place where they're trying to, like, educate people. Yeah. There's another part of it that's just like, oh, you guys are kind of phony.
And I'm always just trying to give them a chance, and like maybe I'll understand it. But the longer I listen, inevitably my fucking bones are like, this isn't right, and I can't like so. I mean, I think my point is I think people think Republicans especially like to just go against the grain for the sake of it, but that is absolutely not true. I don't even consider myself a Republican. The world obviously probably considers me a Republican, but I don't necessarily.
If you're not hard left, you're a Republican.
Yeah, exactly. But people of that lean slightly right or in the center, even I guess, people think they're just these they just go against the grain for the sake of it, but it's not. It's absolutely not true. It bugs me as much as it probably bugs you that I disagree so hard on this shit. And like, I wish I did. I wish I could, but I just like, when I'm listening to it, as much of a chance as I try to give so much of the shit they say, there's something really deep down that is like, this is fucked up, and it's just wrong, and it's tough.
NPR and PBS, man.
Yeah. My two sources for news.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I love spicy Latinos.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So I
what they're banging all the time.
Yeah, I gotta give 2 big thumbs up to the spicy Latinos. Yeah. They are awesome.
Yeah,
they're awesome. But yeah, NPR, kind of nerds.
Yeah, they are nerds.
Speaking of nerds, I have a cool thing that I heard. It wasn't from NPR; it was from a different station. But they were talking about this rover that Red Rover. I got to check my facts on this one, but I think it went to Mars and it was only supposed to make it like 3 months. Yeah, and it ended up staying there, functional, sending back transmissions for like 15 years.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and I got to find the name of it, but I guess there's.
I think I heard something slightly about.
There's an Amazon documentary out about it right now. It's supposed to be really interesting. Red Rover. Let Emmett come over. Let's see. New Space Rover Documentary 2022. Goodnight Oppie. Goodnight Oppie. OPPY. Okay. So charting the remarkable true story of Opportunity, aka OPI, a NASA exploration rover that was sent to Mars for a 90-day mission but ended up surviving for 15 years. Hey, I did pretty good.
That's really cool, yeah.
Yeah, so that one, 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and 65% on the Metacritic, but who cares about that?
But it's based on a true, remarkable thing, so I don't really care like how good the documentary
It's true.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
right, it's true, yeah.
But apparently there's already Oscar buzz. So
All right.
OPI, good night, OPI.
What I want is the Wally Oppie verse.
Oh, yeah.
When they come together.
Yeah, with the spicy Latina controlling them. Yeah. I would pay good money.
Yeah, I too.
That's the entertainment we deserve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the Christmas season a little bit. What's your earliest Christmas memory? I don't know if we've talked about this on the pod.
This is an oddly, really specific one, but this is exactly what my brain goes to when you say that.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually interesting to talk about because this is the first year currently that my mom did not get a real tree. She broke down and got a fake tree. I know. It's like every other year ever we've gotten a real tree. You go to like Home Depot or whatever and you pick it out.
Nothing wrong with the fake tree.
No.
Nothing wrong with it.
And lately they've been getting harder to pick and they've been like... There was actually another segment I heard on NPR about how it was like a whole fucking thing about the Christmas tree business. And
you listen to a shit ton of NPR. You listen to a lot of NPR.
The Christmas tree business is like it's getting like tougher, and the trees are getting worse, and you have to pay more money for them. And yeah, I remember the last couple of years. What you do to test it when you're like there at the Home Depot or whatever is you got to shake it, and if like, a bunch of needles fall, you're like, no, I'm not getting it because it's gonna be dead.
Sure.
So in past years you shake it like a couple needles, that's what you want, but. Lately, they've been like dying so quick, and they're all just dying, and they're not very good, and they're like really pricey.
I do that with the guy that sells me the tree. I shake him.
Give me the tree.
Yeah.
And they're always they're all like over $100 now and stuff. And
Really?
yeah, it's crazy.
My mom usually puts up a fake tree as well. When I was a kid, there'd be a lot of real trees, but I feel like the last 10, 12 years, it's been like fake trees.
Interesting, yeah. That's okay. I think the smell is nice, but you gotta water it and stuff, and it gets kind of like sticky and weird towards the end, so they can be gross.
Yeah.
There's a gross
you
aspect
put a little
to it.
Sprite in there.
Yeah.
Keep it
Give it its buzz.
Yeah, give it
but
its
anyway, my first memory it wasn't even like on Christmas Day. I'll say two memories. The earliest one was I was playing. It was just me and my mom. Max was out doing something, but I was at home, and I was playing Super Smash Bros. For the N64. I was playing the Ness level. I think that's his name, Ness. There's like the little kid with the cap. He's almost like Ash Ketchum, but he's not.
Okay.
And he has like lightning powers.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck he is, but he's in those games.
Yeah.
And he each character has their own level. And I remember specifically for some reason I was playing Smash Bros. And I was playing that level, and my mom was like, "It's time to go to get our Christmas tree."
Cool.
And I just paused it, and we went and got the Christmas tree, and then we came back and we put the Christmas tree up, and then I finished the level.
That's nice.
That was it. I don't know why. It's such a simple little memory, but that's always stuck with me.
It's interesting. I don't know what it is with the human mind where there's something that is not even necessarily anything crazy, anything wild. It's kind of just like a regular thing.
Yeah.
But your brain decides, I'm going to record this forever.
Yeah. It's really weird. Yeah.
This is going to be with you until you die. Or have dementia.
Yeah.
But it's hopefully not. But you know what I mean? It's just interesting. I can think of even trips as a kid where it's literally just looking out the window or a certain part of the day or restaurant or whatever where really nothing was happening, but I remember it crystal clear.
So weird.
And it's literally it's usually a 20-second snippet, if that.
Yeah. And then the other one was more eventful, more cozy. Every Christmas Eve, we go to this Presbyterian church that has a really good choir, and they sing all the Christmas hymns and stuff. And so we go to a 6 p.m. service, and then we come back and we eat tamales. Nice. My mom always gets Christmas tamales. Nice. And then so one year we did that. We did that whole rigmarole, and the church was cool. And then when it was me, Max, and our mom, and when we got back home, we started to, for some reason, we decided to binge all the Angry Video Game Nerd Christmas episodes.
Nice.
And so as my mom was making the tamales, we were watching all these Christmas episodes of Angry Video Game, and we were eating them. That was just super cozy.
Well, you must have been maybe 13? 14,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's
great. It was great.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Christmas tamales. That's a great tradition.
Yeah. For those who don't know, it's a Mexican tradition. Obviously, to have tamales on Christmas Eve, and on Christmas there's a shitload of tamales.
Yep.
Green corn and beef because it's kind of red and green.
Green corn tamales are my all-time favorite.
They're really good. Yeah,
if you get a really good one, they're kind of sweet. Oh, so damn good.
And actually, we started doing that because we had an old neighbor years ago who was this really old. very, very kind Mexican woman, and she would always like bring us the tamales she made, and we liked it so much that we just started doing it ourselves.
You knock them out of her hand. No. I told you only green corn. Come on, what kind of neighbor are you? No, she sounds very sweet.
Yeah, she was very kind.
Sweet, yeah.
Well, what's your best memory, best Christmas memory? Earliest.
Same. Exactly. Let's see, earliest. So I remember going out on Christmas morning, and like I would always like kind of want to savor it. My parents would always say when I was a kid, I would always like take my time opening presents, like instead of rushing, because I think part of me always wanted to like milk it for all it was worth and like make the morning last as long as possible.
Yeah.
So I remember like one of the earliest memories I have of Christmas is coming out of my room like quietly, going through the kitchen and looking from the dining room into the living room.
Oh.
And I was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6. And I got this really cool Robin Hood like playset. And it was like, remember they'd have like those little guys that you'd like put on a pirate ship? But there was also one that they did that was Robin Hood.
Oh, that's sick.
And I remember just like seeing that. And then when I was even a little bit younger, I remember from that same angle, there was like a inflatable Batman punching bag.
That's sick.
And I remember seeing that and those things and just being like, oh my god! Being like so excited.
Taking toys like right before you're allowed to get that.
Yes,
that's
and
really
being so stoked.
That's so cool.
Another early memory I have is actually when I was a kid, and still, I was scared of Santa. Because I would always think that like, oh shit, like Santa's coming into our house. Like it would freak me out as a kid. So I have a memory of like being in my bed, my door being open a crack, like maybe like a foot or two, and looking out, and I swear to God, I like heard noises out there. I mean, it was probably my parents.
Yeah.
But in my mind as a kid, I swore I saw like an elf hat go around the corner, like in the shadow, and then back, and I was petrified. I was just so scared. But at the same time, I didn't want to go up and like disturb them because I thought, oh, Santa's gonna leave, you know. So I was like petrified, and I would say from like age 4 until like 10, I was like, oh my god,
holy
Santa.
shit, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but
oh my god,
yeah, it was one of those. But especially when I was really little, it freaked me out.
That's beautiful.
But always really enjoyed Christmas. Another thing I like too that maybe we'll actually show you guys on a vlog soon is Glendale Glitters.
Oh,
now it's because Emmett has had the pleasure of going.
I've been twice. The first time I was with you.
My memory of that was before Phoenix was totally overpopulated, before everything became like shitty commercialized.
Yeah, when it was nice.
I remember going there when I was real little, like probably like 4, with my parents, and like going on like an off night when hardly any people were there. And it was so cold. I can remember like seeing my breath and walking around just looking at the lights, and it's like a quaint little like I mean it's kind of shitty now. But back then it was like a quaint little town square that you walk around with like red brick buildings and just like really old-fashioned like 1920s style buildings that are still there. And just walking around and it being like kind of quiet and empty. I mean, there'd be a few people, and if you go on the weekends, there'd be like horse-drawn carriages pulling people, which was nice, which I think they might still have.
I didn't see any this year, but
okay.
I hope.
Rusty!
Really cool. Rusty!
But, and there'd also be a guy going out there that would play trumpet. There'd be a guy that would play trumpet out there, and it was definitely magical.
That's cool. That sounds really nice.
Like late 90s, early 2000s, walking around Glendale Glitters was like so beautiful.
That sounds dope.
But I think we should vlog it this year. Maybe this week. Yeah, I might be down to go and check it out. Maybe on like a Tuesday night or something.
That'd be nice. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, because I think they keep the lights up even after Christmas.
Yeah, cool.
So that might be kind of
cool.
cool.
And of course, there's zoo lights. I mean, it's cool, but honestly, for some reason, I've never particularly. It's never been like, whoa!
I don't really care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah. Zoo lights is like a huge. Just look it up, guys. Zoo lights, all one word. It's like a big thing here.
Yeah, it's the Phoenix Zoo, and they put a bunch of lights up. You can't see the animals.
Yeah.
But you see like lights that look like tigers and shit.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. You know, it's one of those things. It's kind of a cliche, overdone Phoenix thing.
Yeah.
It's one of those that like people from California come and take their kids to.
Yeah,
it's like one of those where it's like we're doing something. I don't know. It's whatever. Last time I went with some friends and with Alan and Kareen and this really hot chick named Ricky.
Oh.
And she was one of Kareen's friends, and I remember just like trying to like flirt with her the whole time.
Nice.
And it was a nice little thing. It's like a nice date thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in Phoenix and you don't know what to do, and you feel like seeing some lights and taking your date there, that's a fine date for sure. Even Glendale Glitters, that's a fine one. But I would say Zoo Lights maybe a little bit more intimate.
Yeah.
But it was whatever.
Yeah.
Have a beer, walk around.
Yeah. Overpriced beer.
Yeah. I think actually we got hot cocoa with Fireball in it.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. That's nice.
Yummy.
That's
But, I didn't get to see the monkeys, so it wasn't a success.
Oh, the monkeys.
I want to see the monkeys.
I think, monkeys are good. I think the last, this is sort of a recurring thing, it's not even a memory, but as I said, every year on Christmas
Sorry,
Eve.
guys. Time for a commercial break.
Oh, we'll be right back. Oh, good catch. My goodness.
Well, Rudolph, got enough energy to pull us through?
This is definitely one night you should test all your batteries with the new Copper Top Tester. It quickly tells you if a battery should be replaced or go on its merry way. The Copper Top Tester. A little present. Only from Duracell.
Grab control of a pod racer and hang on for the race of your life. You're Anakin Skywalker or Sebulba in a heart-pounding race for survival. Scream through Beggar's Canyon at 600. Better make that turn, because victory tastes a whole lot better than dirt. Have you experienced Star Wars? Pod Racer, each sold separately. It's your universe.
Give 'em movies from Tower. Hundreds of movies are on sale now. Just $17.99. Toy Story. For just $14.99, Independence Day. Twister. Mission Impossible. The Nutty Professor. Cops Too Hot for TV. And James and the Giant Peach. For just $13.99, GoldenEye. Carry home the savings from Tower.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. May your heart be unfazed.
Hello, I hope you enjoyed the seasonal commercials. You're going to get something good? All right. Very exciting. I hope we helped sway some of your Christmas purchases. What are your rules on Christmas shopping? You do it like way in advance, or you're a last minute kind of guy?
I'm sort of in between, as mid-December is here, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta shop.
Yeah.
So, like within the month, but I'm not like right up to the end.
Yeah. I usually start, once in a while I'll find a couple things here and there early, but yeah, usually once December hits, like that first week of December, I'm like, all right, I gotta get this going.
Yeah.
What were you talking about before the break?
Before the break, I was gonna talk about, and if I can find them, I'll put them up as I'm talking about them, because they're funny. Every Christmas Eve we go to the Christmas Eve service and they give us a program that just it's this piece of paper that tells you what's going to happen. And there's always like pens and stuff. I don't know why they have pens out. They have pens out, and almost every year I'll just like look at like my mom and just draw my mom and my drawings of people, my like life drawings of people. No, not life art. Life art means you're naked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it's like when I'm looking at a real person and trying to draw them, it always ends up being like horrific. Yeah. Like it actually looks like them, but it's like terrifying.
How much do you want to be?
Okay, well, and like they all the last one I drew one of my mom, and by now it's like a meme. Like everyone knows it's gonna be like awful, and they don't want me to draw them.
Yeah.
The last time I drew my mom, I couldn't even bring myself to like show it to her.
That's hilarious.
And I have like one's a Max, who looks like this like meth head.
It's really good.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'll choose usually my mom or my dad sometimes to draw, and Max and I will just be cracking up, like trying not to lose it in the middle of the sermons and shit. That's a good memory. If I can find any of them, I'll try to put them up here.
I would love to see some of those. That's beautiful.
I'll put up Max because people know what he looks like. So
of course. Good time.
Yeah, good memory.
But yeah, it feels like, I was kind of actually saying this to your mom earlier, it feels like the season is going on a little bit longer than usual.
Yeah.
And I think a part of that is probably because they start shoving Christmas advertisements down our throat like November 1st.
Yeah.
But they've been doing that for a couple of years now. I think this one actually, like, December itself feels longer, but not in a bad way.
No,
I feel like the past couple of years, like, I wasn't totally into it. Like, I feel like I was kind of a little burned out on it. And this year, I feel like I'm like, all right, let's watch It's a Wonderful Life. Like, I'm down.
Yeah, for some reason, people like wanted it this year. And I think last year it was because COVID and everything. It was off about it maybe.
Yeah, it's not that Christmas was like bad last year or anything like that. It was fine.
Yeah,
but this year it feels like you want
more explosive. Yeah, just like all the fucking flu and cold going.
Yeah, you got the flu, you got the Christmas explosion.
But so speaking of gifts. I always struggle with gifts, because I'm always like the guy like, oh, what if they don't like it? I can't like think of what they would want. But you're one of the best gift givers I know. You're
Thank
always,
you.
Extremely thoughtful.
Thank
you know
you.
exactly what to get people, what they'll need, what they'll want. You know, you just know it when you see it.
And I actually have a surprise for you guys. I got all of the viewers, every single one of you, a Christmas present. This podcast.
Oh my goodness!
Merry Christmas! Happy Hanukkah! Festive Kwanza! For all of you. You're welcome. I hope you guys enjoy it with a little bow on it.
Yeah.
But thank you. I appreciate that. I try to give thoughtful gifts. You know, sometimes it's tough. Like, you know, I'll think about stuff for a while, and I'm like, I don't know what to get.
Yeah.
And then like I'll really think about it. And I'll be like, all right, maybe I need to give an experience, maybe a concert ticket, maybe you know, a bike.
Right. Yeah.
Emmett's getting a bike.
And if I don't know what to get someone, I'll always like just reference me.
Yeah.
Like I've given my dad a Superman action figure.
Oh, for sure.
I know he likes Superman, but he's not gonna want a fucking action. Like I'm gonna want the action figure, but that's a good one. And then this glass you're drinking from right now is actually these are Christmas gifts to my mom. It's like an Iron Man glass.
Yeah, check it out.
And so because
the future.
Yeah, I got her a set of like Marvel hero glasses.
I definitely am guilty of that too, especially with my dad, because we do have a lot of common interests.
Yeah.
Like I'll do the same kind of music, or like he's really into comic books.
Yeah.
I've done the action figures, definitely. You know, sometimes if you can't think what to give to someone, think what you would like.
Yeah.
Give it to them.
And the dads, I don't know about your dad, but like dads in general, they're always like, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
I need to do something.
Yeah, dad's tough to buy for because a lot of stuff, you gotta be careful of this. I don't know if you guys have dads like this, but my dad, a lot of stuff I get him, it just ends up on a shelf.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if I get him movies and stuff, he usually doesn't watch them. So what I've been doing with my dad more is getting him things to do.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I don't want to drop any spoilers,
good,
but like,
yeah.
you know, if there's like a good comedy show, something
Yeah.
like that, or, you know, concert, I'll do that and be like, okay, we'll go to this together.
That's really smart, yeah.
Because it's, you know, at the end of the day, that's kind of what counts too. It's like being able to go do stuff together and make memories instead of just something that goes on a shelf. But if it is something that goes on a shelf, it'll be an elf or a cool action figure. Yeah.
Speaking of elf on the shelf, do you even know what that is?
It was a little after my time.
Me too.
My ex-girlfriend's daughter had an elf on the shelf.
There you go, yeah. And I guess it's just like a stationary elf that sits on any kind of awning, and I guess the parents like put a different gift in it every day, and it's like the elf is giving you this gift. I think that's what it is.
I just remember it, what I remember with hers was it would like move around and it would like report back to Santa.
Yeah,
So like if you misbehave, like the elf knew.
Yeah. It's weird. But anyway, my point is like my student. This is so big with kids.
Yeah.
And my students, in this last week leading up to Christmas, they've all been like getting the elf, and they're like a little too old. They believe it's real.
Really?
They're like, the elf came to my kitchen.
How old are your kids? Like 11?
They're like, yeah, like 10 and 11. I'm like, dude, you're 10.
Nerds.
Yeah, and they're always like, the elf gave me, you know, this so and so today, and it was really nice. And he's like, they really like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, you're a little old for that.
Yeah, and I don't have a hard to be like.
I remember being like 8 or 9 where like kids in school were like, Santa's not real.
Yeah.
I was like, But I still held on to the belief, I'd say until about 10. 10, and then I was like skeptical.
Right. But I mean, this is like even the belief in Santa Claus. That's understandable to a point, but like literally this like elf that you see, there, like you can see it's porcelain or whatever.
They sound really stupid.
Yeah, they think it's real,
and
I'm just like a little confused and worried for them. You know, obviously I don't say like it's fake, but I was like, okay,
you gotta grab it by the face and be like, listen,
that's slightly worrisome.
It's not fucking real.
It sounds like a creepy thing.
Elf on a shelf. There's one right there.
There
it's the Lefebvre elf. Yeah. Now, did you guys have anything like that when you were kids? Or for me, I remember it was just Santa Claus. You want to hear a fun one? I think I mentioned this on a pod before. We would get a call every year. I would when I was a kid, up until I think like age 11, where it was Dennis the Elf calling, and I did not know who it was.
Oh,
I did not. It didn't sound like any family member. It didn't sound like any neighbors.
Oh,
Dennis the Elf would call, ask me what I want for Christmas, ask me if I've been good, and then go back and talk to my parents. And I'm like, for years,
like your uncle or some shit, right?
For years, I didn't know who it was, and literally up until last year, up until age 28, my mom finally told me who Dennis the Elf was.
Who is it?
It was one of her old friends from back when she was like a teenager.
Oh my
god! And
God.
it was this guy named Dennis who was like one of her really good friends and like dated one of her best friends. And like they kept in touch all these years. And Dennis would call and and he was just like an old school, like I think they were like high school friends.
Would she put you on the phone with Dennis the Elf all these years?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still like...
Oh, that would be amazing. I wish. No, but I'm probably up until like age 11.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah. As a kid, I would always talk, and I remember like literally being like straight up like 25 years old, and being like, "Mom, who was Dennis?" And she'd be like, "He was an elf," and like it would drive me nuts. And then I started getting worried. I'm like, what if I never know? Like, what if, like, I'm, like, 70 years old and my parents are, like, God forbid, deceased at that point, and, like, I never know who Dennis the Elf was. And I, like, told her, like, last year, I was like, Mom, I'm like, I gotta know who Dennis the Elf was. Like, I have to know. And then she's like, do you really want me to tell you? I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God.
I was, like, trying to get it out of her for, like, 30 years.
So funny.
And finally, I found out Dennis was...
Then when she just said it was my friend Dennis, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. And then she explained, like, they've been friends forever.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
And, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I'm glad I found out who that was.
I didn't have anything that special and cool.
I had like a sneaking suspicion it was my Uncle Mark.
Oh.
But it wasn't. And I was
I had
like,
an Uncle Mark too. I had an Uncle Mark too.
It's the same uncle?
Yeah. We had this old neighbor named Evelyn, and around, I don't know where this like saying or thing came from, but pennies from heaven, that's like a saying or song or something. Mm-hmm. Whenever it rained in December, she would like put pennies around, like in that cycle. Yeah, well, like on our like front yard, because she was friends with my mom.
That's sweet.
This was kind of a sweet little thing. Like I didn't get it. It was like, oh, the pennies came in the rain. And
you thought it came from the rain?
Yeah. She would always do it like shortly after a rain.
That's sweet.
Look like it was.
Would
cute.
she put it like in the grass? Or?
Yeah, and like the dirt in the grass and like on the the walkway. Yeah, it was cute. It was cool.
Yeah.
And then of course everyone knew NORAD or whatever. What was that thing called? Did you ever have that? It was like Track Santa Claus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and they would say it on the radio.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of times we'd be coming home from my grandparents, like on Christmas Eve, and like you could listen to it on the radio, and my dad would be like, "Oh, listen, they're tracking Santa," and I'd be like, "He was seen flying over California."
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
So that was really neat. One thing I do love about Christmas and just the whole thing with Santa Claus is like how everyone is on board of like, okay, we got to trick these kids into this.
Yeah.
Like everyone's on board with it. Like I love that.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Like I wasn't like a really like jaded kid or anything. I don't remember ever believing in Santa.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gullible.
Yeah. Well,
I believed in him like he was like my religious figure.
Yeah.
Like,
I think most kids did, and I never like. I was never like the kid who was like, he's fake! But I was just like, deep inside.
Did Max ever spoil it for you because he was older than you?
Maybe that was it. I don't know. Maybe that was it. But I don't have any recollection of like actually being excited for him and like thinking it was real.
Interesting.
It's unfortunate.
Interesting. Wow. See, Santa was a huge part of the magic.
That's cool. Yeah. Although my mom always did a cool thing where if she would, all the presents she gave us, half would be like addressed from her, and then half would be like from Santa, and she had like a fancy Santa handwriting.
Cool.
So like, it was very sweet and cute.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did that ever trick you at any point, or make you guess? Like, man, maybe.
No, I think it was like exciting. Like, oh, like when you're looking at it, it's like, oh, it's like the Santa font and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like a little sparkle of magic in there. Yeah, I was never like. Yeah, I just can't remember any memory at least where I really thought it was real.
Wow.
But
yeah, I was deep in the Santa belief system.
That's cool. I wish I was.
I was indoctrinated into the claws.
The claws.
But love Christmas definitely.
There was a animated film that came out a few years ago called Klaus, I think. Which is about like the origin of
Santa. Was that the Norm one?
Yeah, it was the Norm one. It's actually really good. You guys should check it out. I think I mentioned it on our last Christmas podcast.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
If you guys haven't checked it out yet, please do. It's really good.
Klaus. Okay.
Yeah, it's cool because there's like a real kind of Santa figure who's just like this kindly toy maker. And
Was it
then
stop motion or CGI?
No, it was just like kind of like Pixar type stuff. So it's this kindly old toy maker, and then there's this. I think he's like a postman or something. He's like a mailman, and he sees how good this toy maker is, and he tries to like capitalize off it. He's almost like a Han Solo type. And he's like, we could make some big bucks out of this, and he tries to commercialize it. And
is Norm the postman?
No, Norm. I wish he was. I think he has a fairly large role. I think I forget who exactly.
Norm people seem to forget he did a lot of voice acting.
He did a lot. He was in what was the Timmy Turner show?
For that?
Yeah, he was in that as someone.
Yeah. He was Death on Family Guy.
Yeah, that's great.
He did a bunch of stuff. You look at his IMDb, it was like quite a few.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
He was great. But yeah, Norm is in it, which is already great. It's just like well written. It's funny. It's cool. And so like they kind of butt heads because he's like this guy who's just trying to make a buck.
Yeah,
kind of screw these kids and it's like
I'm gonna look at the cast.
Yeah, and then at the end they finally like come. The mailman comes to terms or whatever. But yeah, it's really good. It was a fun time.
2019.
2019. That sounds right.
Let's see.
Klaus.
Oh, I like the animation style.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's a very good 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, it's good, guys. It's good.
8.1 out of 10 on IMDb, even higher than the other movie.
It's
I was
a good
talking
one.
about.
Yeah.
What was the other movie I was talking about? I forget.
Opa. This is
Oppie.
Oppie.
Well, it has a higher review than that.
Opa is the Greek version of the.
Opa!
Opa didn't last very long. That was Oppie.
Alright, let's look at the cast of Klaus. Klaus. Sinterklaas. A very high rating. People love it.
Yeah, it's fucking good. It's
love
like
it.
weird.
Okay,
like go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was telling you yesterday about the new Puss in Boots movie. It's rated like super high.
Yeah.
I would not seen a single Puss in Boots. I would have never had.
People are supposed to really like it.
Yeah, that's supposed to be fucking incredible.
Jason Schwartzman, J.K. Simmons as Klaus,
As the
Rashida Jones, my future wife.
Classic.
Will Sasso. Dude, I love Will Sasso. Will Sasso is a genius.
It's great.
Nita Margareth, not sure who that is. Sergio Pablos. Norm Macdonald as Muggins.
Muggins. I don't remember who Muggins is, but he's good.
Yes. Joan Cusack. Evan Agos. Bunch of kid actors.
Yeah.
But that's a star-studded cast, man.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
I will watch Klaus. I promise you, I will watch Klaus. Last thing I watched on TV was the X-Files.
Nice.
I've been watching it. I'm trying to go in order, but like sometimes you want to skip ahead.
Yeah.
It's a show I've never watched all the way through, but like I always grew up watching it kind of in a random order, so I've always loved the X-Files. But that's one of my favorite shows to like drift off to sleep watching, with it like playing in the background. That's like my go-to if it's like Sunday night. I'm like, I gotta go for work.
That's a weird thing because some people don't get that. Some people do. The like cozy, scary thing.
Yeah,
I love when I was down at U of A by myself. I would go to sleep to like there were a lot of YouTube channels that would just narrate like scary things that happen to people, and I would like go to sleep listening to
those are great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I love those.
Yeah, like some people totally get it, and some people are like, you're a weirdo for doing that.
Yeah, I really like doing that specifically with X-Files, where it's just like, I know I'm not going to miss anything. It's like I can always go back and rewatch, or it's one I've probably seen. And it's like, I'll just kick it on. It's just like so cozy. It's just like Dana Scully. And it's like perfect. I'm a big fan of that. Other things like that, like sometimes I'll kick on like old Tales from the Crypt. Like stuff like that where I'm just like, oh, this is the best.
That's the way to go.
That like really relaxes me.
I know. It's weird, but it does.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it myself, but it's the campfire coziness.
That's a question for you guys. You can leave in the comments. What is something that's like spooky or weird that you like to fall asleep to? If you say this podcast, I won't be offended. But
a lot of people say it's our old Let's Plays, the Oblivion ones.
Oh yeah,
everyone's like, I fucking fall asleep to them.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's kind of sweet.
Yeah, it is sweet. Yeah. So
very interesting.
Well, the question is, what defines and what makes that like cozy vibe? Because obviously, like a fucking Oblivion Let's Play, and then like horror stories are very different, but they do create this similar effect.
I think for me, at least with the stuff I watch, it's a sense of familiarity.
Yeah.
There's also something to it that's just kind of I don't know, what is that it factor? There's something that's like, it's almost like it's super engaging, but it's okay if you don't pay attention.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like my mind is super. It's like setting me up for like crazy dreams.
Yeah.
It's like I enjoy the first 15 minutes, and then I'm like, I'm going to drift off.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know, but I think familiarity is the key word.
Yeah, I do. I think, especially specifically with the horror stuff, it's cozy because like when you're in bed at night, that's when you're at your safest. So that's when it's like most okay to like listen to this stuff because you're like, nothing's gonna get me out.
Nothing's gonna get me
out.
You know,
it's like so I don't know.
It would be different if you were listening to that and you were out in a tent in Ruby.
That would be much different. Yeah.
When's the last time you really legitimately frightened yourself? Where you're like looking over your shoulder and like you actually like spooked yourself? Like
actually, last night it wasn't like scary.
Actually, right now, terrified.
Last night there were like 10 or so. It sounded like gunshots, like pretty close.
Classic.
And I kept like refreshing the Citizen app to see if like anything came up, but nothing came up.
I need to re-download that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, that and Guardian Angel.
Yeah, Guardian Angel.
Good app.
You got scrubbed off the app.
Yeah, they did a deep cleanse on that one. That thing was intense.
Yeah, it was. But I like really like, hair on the back of my neck and shit. I don't know. It's been a while.
But the gunshots freaked you out?
It just made me a little older. Like I had a heater, I have this little heater that I plug in here, and it hums, which is kind of soothing. But like I turned it off because I like wanted to like be alert just in case anything else went down.
Sense.
Yeah, and I checked all the doors, make sure.
It's a very rational fear. I have that in my hood fairly often.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last time I did that, besides the one that you know about that we'll save for a rainy day, that's a whole other story. Actually, when I did the Unfazed Frights video at the cemetery, obviously went by myself at night. Same thing, there was like an explosion off in the distance and weird noises and sirens, and it's always pretty ghetto around there. But aside from that being scary as far as like a bodily harm fear, when I was leaving, it's like it was super cold, turned the camera off, obviously, was heading back to the car, so it was a fair walk, through the cemetery by myself. There's like this other part of the cemetery that's newer, that's like really dark, and I was walking through that by myself, and I just had the feeling of like having to look over my shoulder a lot, and like feeling like someone was behind me, and it was like kind of a long walk back to the car for a moment there, where it's like I'm not jogging, but I'm walking fast.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where it's like you look back and it's like really dark in the cemetery, and I'm like,
I totally get that.
And I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
And usually I'm pretty good going into those by myself, but one thing I've noticed with the ghost hunting, especially solo, as soon as the camera goes off, a lot of your courage goes off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like you're there and you're like, it's weird when I'm recording, it feels like I'm with you guys.
Yeah, the camera's like a shield. It's weird.
Yeah, and it almost kind of like detaches you from the situation because, at least for me, I'm focused on...
I'm not really here, I'm just filming it.
Yeah. I'm focused on the shot, I'm more focused on the content and kind of how it's being conveyed to you guys. Yeah. But then when it's off, you realize, oh fuck, I'm smack down in the middle of cemetery by myself at like 10 o'clock at night.
Right, yeah, you're right. You do feel like the connection to the audience when you're filming. You realize,
110%.
So it's like, it's weird.
Yeah. And then even if you're not live streaming it, even if you're just recording it, it still feels like different. It feels like you're not alone.
You're connected. Yeah, that's very strange.
But walking through the cemetery in the dark by myself, I was kind of like, I want to get back to the car now. Yeah.
And now to toot our own horns, because we touched on this briefly earlier. I love to toot. I love to toot too. Yeah. I was in a couple situations recently, and you as well. We've been talking about this where we surprised ourselves with how like cool we are with being in dangerous situations.
Oh yeah.
Like two recently with me. The first one was super recent. But earlier in this semester, we had a lockdown at our school, and it wasn't like a drill or whatever, and it ended up being the police were like running after the suspect, and the suspect, he didn't go into our school, but he went like right next to our school. There was like a construction site right next to our school, and he went in there. But of course, like. God damn, excuse me.
You belched on the villain.
I did belch on the villain. Of course, a lot of the kids and a lot of the like female workers and stuff were like freaking out.
Classic.
Everyone was immediately screaming. And I have a really big classroom. It's like almost uncomfortably large. It's weird. There's a bunch of pianos on one half, and then the other half is just like empty space.
You have multiple exits?
Kind of, yeah. But I'm also in the middle of the building, so there's no way out really. Everything's just like you get into the building. But
that kind of gives you the advantage of.
Yeah. There were a ton of kids being escorted because it was right at the end of the school day, and so kids were like out everywhere.
Oh shit!
And there were a ton of kids in the hallway. So we're just like open because what you're supposed to do when that stuff happens is you just let them all in. So I had like a ton of kids in my room, so like a ton of little kids too, and then like 4 or 5 like aides, these like Mexican women who like barely speak English, and they just like all ran in my room, and everyone was freaking out, and I was there was something that just told me like this isn't anything big, you you just know.
Sometimes you can kind of sense.
Yeah. So everyone was freaking out, and like we're gonna be fine, and I just kind of stood like next to the door the whole time. Because I was the only like adult male in that room, so I was like, all right, I gotta protect these people. The whole time I was just like right there.
You're a hero.
Thank you. Yeah. And then
you're Batman.
I am Batman. And then the second one, and then the second one was more recent. Nothing ended up happening, but I was playing a show downtown, and it was like this Phoenix Arts Festival, and we all felt very safe. But we were like the last people there. We were just playing and playing. We have to like play until everyone's gone.
What were the cross streets? Was it kind of like the Nash sort of?
It was, it was kind of Nash-ish. A little farther, it was like 9th Street, not 7th Street, but 9th, and then a little
deeper.
Yeah, a little deeper, and. Like, it goes from being, like, very comfy, cozy artists to, like, really scary real fast. I didn't even notice it, but I told you about this. I was packing up my keyboard, and this dude was, like, getting jumped on the side of the road, and these guys were just wailing on him, and I don't know if it was because, like, people get into fights at school, and I've just been trained to, like, go up to them and break it up, but I just started, like, walking up to them, but I had my mom and my girlfriend with me, and they're like, down, down, down. So only because they were there, I was like, fucking fine.
Yeah.
But and the guy got away. Like I kept walking
good.
up. I kept walking up until I saw the guy like get up and like sprint away, and then I
was he
stayed there.
outnumbered? Multiple guys beating him up?
It was 2 guys beating him up. Yeah, and I just like I waited there to make sure like he was still gone. And I didn't go after him, but then I walked away. But like I was really ready to just like just something like boils in my blood when I see shit like that happen. Like people's wailing on some defenseless guy.
You want to be a superhero?
Yeah. I need this. Yeah, and it's not even like I want to be cool. It was just like
you want to intervene.
Yeah, my hatred for the guy who's doing that to another person was like. And I'm glad I have that though.
100%.
So, yeah,
you stepped up.
Thank you. Yeah.
I had one actually today. After I did a video, which I kind of want to keep secret for a little bit longer. I was parked in kind of a sketchy area, and after the video was done, I saw how truly sketchy the area was that I was in. And my car, I was walking back to it, and it was like the only car in this parking lot. And I saw this like really ghetto car roll up, and like these sketchy looking dudes like scoping my car. Like they pulled up and they were like looking and looking. Yeah. And I started just walking towards them. And I went like that once they saw me, and then I reached in my back like this, and I pretended like I had something. Yeah. And they peeled out. Oh yeah. And I was like, okay, maybe that wasn't the smartest move. No, but for some reason it seemed like the right move.
You're so quick on your feet in this situation.
And then I pulled out my phone and started recording them. Yeah. And they jumped away. Yeah. But it was one of those where I was just like, okay, I don't have any backup. Yeah. But like this seems like the move. Yeah. Maybe it was stupid.
No, it was a smart move. Yeah. The story about you walking with that girl through the park and the homeless guy walks up to you.
Oh yeah.
That was the quickest thinking, most perfect thing you could have done.
I'll reiterate that story. So this was probably about, I don't know, 8 years ago, something like that. One of my ex-girlfriends, we were walking downtown, and fun fact, she was a spicy Latina. Anyways, we were walking downtown, and I was probably, like 21, 20, about 20 probably, so yeah. And we were walking downtown, and it was pretty late, like let's say like 11 o'clock, something like that. And, excuse me, I'm belching up sushi. Belching up Bay. Anyway, I was in this area that was kind of off the beaten path. Like here's Central, then there's like this complex of buildings. There's a building down there I call the Jurassic Park building because it looks like the one from the end where the T-Rex is like loose and the banner falls down. Anyway, basically when you go back in this little courtyard area, you can't see the road anymore and you're kind of isolated, right? So I'm back there with her. We're walking around, just having a little date, and this really creepy tweaker-looking dude just beelines and starts coming straight for us, like, quickly. Like, he's, like, walking like that, like, coming right at us. And it's, like, just me and my girlfriend at the time. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, there's nobody around. It's late. And we're, like, away from the main road. Like, if something happens, like, no one's going to see us until tomorrow. Yeah. So I start just going really quick towards him. I told Jessica at the time, I was like, stay here. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to go towards... So I start just going real fast towards him. And we meet like maybe like, I don't know, 20 feet away or something like that. And I go up to him and I just think fast and I'm like, dude, you got to help me. And he's like, what? And I was like, there's 2 guys over there. They're coming to jump me. I said, they've been following me for the last like half mile. And I said, they mean business. Like they're scary looking dudes. And he's like, oh, where are they? So my logic was, I'm coming to the guy that's a threat for help. I want him to think that there's two scarier guys around the corner.
Yeah, there's a bigger fish. Yeah.
And I remember he was like, "Oh man," he's like, "I'll watch your back." He's like, "Go back with your girl or whatever." Yeah. And he stayed over there. We got out of there, and I was like, "Be careful, man." I'm like, "Those guys looked like they weren't fucking around." Yeah. And we got out of there. And
that
was one of those where he was like on his toes looking around because he thought there was 2 like scary dudes around the corner.
That was so smart.
So if you guys need to use that one,
it's a really good one. Yeah. But there's always moments where you think to yourself like, would I fuck up in those situations or would I pull through? And I think I've been in enough circumstances where I think I'd actually do a good job.
Yeah. And there's some of those where I'm sure some of you will say, oh, that was a dumb move, like you could have gotten really hurt.
It was a genius move.
Well, also, if I didn't do that, then you're just a victim either way.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of like sometimes maybe...
It's better than just like, please leave us alone.
Yeah, sometimes it's not the best move, but sometimes you kind of have this feeling of like, I'm going to double down on this.
Yeah.
And sometimes, luckily my intuition was right in those situations, but obviously, do your own thing.
Yeah.
And then I had another one recently. I love taking nighttime walks, and I was walking at the park. There's a park I really love to walk around, and I sometimes go pretty late at night. I like my nighttime walks. And I was walking around, and I heard this woman screaming off in the distance, and there was like nobody at the park. There was like nobody around. And so I started going towards it.
Yeah.
And there was like a lot of trees, and there's this area that's like fenced off. And I heard the screams coming from like over there. And so I started going closer and closer, and then it just stopped. And I literally like, kicked my light on my phone. I was like looking through the trees. I couldn't see anything. And then there's a part of the park that's like fenced off, so you can't go any further. But luckily the sound stopped. But it was one of those where I was ready to jump in, but at the same time, once it stops, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know? So there's some situations where it's like you're ready to step up, but sometimes maybe it's for the best that you don't intervene every time.
Yeah.
Because who knows what you're walking into, you know? But I like to think that, you know, if the situation presents itself, I'll do the right thing, but, you know, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Don't be stupid.
But given our past things we've brushed against, it seems like we might do the right thing, which is cool.
Yes.
And we back in August we had active shooter training for school, and so we had to watch a bunch of videos about like the steps to take. But
everyone wants to go John McClane.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, the comp was like, so much of this stuff honestly isn't going to matter. It's more of like a, you know, when they were telling you all the steps, like protect yourself from a nuclear bomb, like it's actually not going to matter.
Yeah.
And he said, honestly,
it's always a little different.
Yeah. It's always a little different.
Yeah.
And he said, honestly, the best thing you can do is like, yeah, you might die, but you got to fight back. Like fighting back is your best possible option.
Or the people that play dead, they pull the dead bodies over them.
Yeah.
Also a move.
Yeah, if you're not going to fight, playing dead is good.
Yeah.
But he said in general, like saving the maximum number of lives, like if everyone rushes the guy and just fucks him up, which is terrifying. Honestly, it's like you might die. Yeah.
Yeah, I think A, run, fight back, B, play dead.
Yeah.
Or C, play dead.
Yeah, like the new Daily Wire show, which sponsors Unfazed, run, hide, fight, or whatever the fuck.
Appreciate it. Alright guys, time for one more commercial break with some Coca-Cola bears and such, and we'll be back with some more fun antics.
Santa!
I love Santa, I love him!
As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Nothing melts away the cold like a delicious hot bowl of Campbell's soup.
Let it snow, let it snow.
Campbell.
Santa?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, a perfect holiday gift, rated PG.
Wrap up the holidays with the perfect gift. Give them what they want. The movie of the decade.
Who's this guy?
The smash hit of the season.
I'm Batman.
Can somebody tell me what kind of world we live in where a man dressed up as a bat gets all of my press?
Batman on video cassette. The gift you want to give. The gift they want to get. Specially priced at stores everywhere.
Hello, and welcome back from that brief intermission.
So we're going to go through the email. We have about a month's worth of things.
Ooh, juicy and tender.
Yeah. I do want to briefly mention, because this happened today, and it's like big news or whatever, Elon Musk put a poll on Twitter about just saying, like, you know, should I step down as CEO? And it was yes, no, and it was close, but the majority was no. So he will step down.
Wow. And you know who's going to fill in his place? Donald Trump.
Probably. That would be fucking great. Now I run Truth Social and Twitter.
Welcome to the new Twitter. Trump's Twitter. So welcome to Trump.
That would be so funny. Oh, man.
Can you imagine?
The first thing we have is this Instagram post about how, Mount Everest, Jesus. There are over 200 dead bodies of climbers on Mount Everest because it's so difficult to bring them down. Depicted as the body of Green Boots, an Indian climber who died in 1996 and is believed to be Sewang Paljor.
R.I.P.
Lies near a cave that all climbers must pass on their way to the peak. Green Boots now serves as a waypoint marker that climbers use to gauge how near they are to the summit. Jesus.
Is that hardcore?
Yeah. Green Boots met his end after becoming separated from his party. He sought refuge in a mountain overhang but sat in the cold. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Isn't that chilling, literally? It's so sad, but at the same time, like, you're kind of glad he's there. Like he's unfazed.
They're too cold to decompose, right? So they're just there for.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I'm sure it looks like shit. Jesus Christ,
dude, isn't that crazy?
That's so weird to think about. Why would anyone? Don't do that, guys. Don't climb Mount Everest. There's better things you can do.
Unless you're feeling really adventurous.
Yeah. Watch social justice art class.
Oh, let's check this out.
You want to watch this?
So, so this was a clip from I want to say 1995 or something like that, and everyone was commenting oh, this totally could have come out today, or 1993, and everyone, not just 2016, but literally today, this could have been brand new.
Okay.
I don't think we'll get flagged for showing this.
Okay.
We'll see. This is from a show called Kids in the Hall.
Okay, everyone. Today we're going to be tackling what is one of the most fundamental yet one of the most demanding drawing exercises that any aspiring artist may undertake. We're going to be sketching the female nude today, but I'm going to ask you not to focus on portraiture so much at this point. Just focus on lines and shadow and form, okay? Sylvia, if you please.
Hey!
Yes.
Excuse me, Mr. Dwyer, but, I took this class to learn how to sketch, not to ogle some poor female nude.
Well, this isn't about ogling. No, we're just going to observe line and shadow and form.
And we're going to use economic repression to once again exploit a woman's body.
Well, I don't think that's what we're doing here.
No? Excuse me, sister, are you being paid?
Yes.
I rest my case.
Well, of course she's being paid. She's a professional artist model. I see no reason why we shouldn't use her.
Use her? Use her? I wish you could hear yourself, sir. Remember, language is a virus.
Well, I certainly didn't mean to infect anyone.
That's no excuse. Sexism in any context is never appropriate.
But what about our charcoal technique?
Oh, no. Don't change the subject here, sir. This class is a travesty. That poor woman child is just another victim of the patriarchy.
She is?
I am? Hate crime. Hate crime.
Not only that, it is also a racist construct.
This woman represents the same white image of beauty that has oppressed women for centuries. Hate crime. Hate crime. Where are the nude models of color?
The people of girth. The handy-capable, the elderly, the queer.
It's just naked, fat, black, crippled dykes are hard to find. I'm sorry I said that. I apologize.
White male, stop trying to cool up my black anger. I'm just trying to understand your black anger. Show it to me again.
Shut up!
Thank you, I understand now.
Sir, you leave me only one alternative. I must walk out and call for a boycott of your classes.
Anybody who stays is obviously a racist.
Or a homophobe.
Oh no.
Shut up!
Well, these issues are certainly valid, and we could have a discussion. Bye. Well, okay. I assume we have serious artists left. Sylvia, if you please.
Come on, take it off, baby. Come on.
No. Everyone out. Come on, out here. Come on, move it out. I'm disgusted. I'm terribly. I'm so sorry. I'm Sylvia. I'm just.
I thought you'd enjoy
That was incredible.
I just find that funny. That came out in 1993.
Oh God,
29 years ago.
Ahead of the curve. What the hell?
Yeah, way ahead of the curve.
Jesus.
That was Unreal Almost Engine.
Yeah. Approaching Unreal Engine.
Approaching Unreal Engine.
Plug in the.
So I guess that's been a thing for quite a while. It just really wasn't up in the forefront and shoved down our throats until the last
That is what that says.
5-7 years, something like that. I thought that was amusing.
That was really funny.
Yeah. Want to spend about $5,000 to meet Metallica on upcoming tour?
My goodness.
I thought this was funny. So it just seems kind of excessive. Metallica's fine, whatever. But I mean, $5,000 to meet the band, that's kind of insane. I think you could put your money to better use,
Absolutely. That's,
I mean, unless you're the world's number one Metallica fan and you've got unlimited income, then go for it. But I think just even being that band, you got to know you're gouging your fans, man. I can understand $5,000 if you're getting an autographed Epiphone guitar and I don't know, there's more to it maybe. But literally just a meet and greet with pictures, $5,000, you're kind of ripping off the fans, man.
But for this, the amount of $4,398. You get one backstage meet and greet experience with 2 members of the band, which includes a photo taken by the tour photographer and a group conversation with members of the band. Okay. One production tour led by a Metallica crew member, an on-stage group photo. One ticket to the Snake Pit, an exclusive standing section in the middle of the stage. And you get to party with other Metallica fans. Well, you probably get to do that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing. Oh, I'd like to hear your opinion as a musician, but I think it's a bit of a ripoff.
It's shitty. Yeah, it's a huge ripoff.
Yeah. I mean, let's say you were Metallica level, like you're that famous. I mean, how would you feel? To be like, let's charge our biggest fans $5,000 each to come get a picture.
Yeah, really. Yeah, exactly. That's
you're already like,
thing to do,
you're already like, you have like $100 million in the bank.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah,
like, I mean, let's look up. Yeah. Let's look up the net worth
of Metallica.
I forget the lead singer's name. What's his name?
Take my hand.
James Hetfield. That's right.
Or after Neverland.
Let's look up James Hetfield's net worth. I'm sure it's crazy. Take a guess. Take a guess on his net worth.
I'm not good at net worth guesses.
Take a guess. James Hetfield. And remember, Metallica's been around since like the early 80s, and they're still going strong.
100 million or some shit.
More.
Jesus. How much?
300 million.
Oh my gosh.
$300 million.
That was as far off as I thought it was going to be.
So I don't know if
I
don't know if he really needs the extra 5,000.
God damn. Yeah, that's shitty.
You know, I would say for something like that, maybe like, what would you say, $500?
Yeah.
$500.
I will say that I understand, like, obviously you're grateful of the fans and stuff. Yeah, at that point, I don't think the excitement of fans will still be with you. You know.
No.
And I get, like, if they don't want to do the fan thing altogether, I think that's fine. They don't have to, but they shouldn't charge for it. I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
They should either just do one or the other. Go up there and just do it because you want to do it, or just do your show and leave.
There's something I've heard that seem a little more reasonable. Like I know Marilyn Manson will do meet and greets, and I think they're around like $500, $600, something like that. I feel like I could kind of see that, kind of. But even then, it seems like it's kind of pushing it as far as gouging.
I've heard that whatever you think about her music is irrelevant, and her as a person. But with her fans, Taylor Swift is really good, and she'll just let them come back and like hang out for free.
That's cool. Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, Franz Ferdinand is really good with her fans.
Yeah. I heard. I think I've said this on the pod before, but I heard that Steve Miller of the Steve Miller Band. A lot of the albums, he wouldn't put his face on the album cover, so a lot of people didn't know what he looked like. It would be just like art on the album cover. Yeah. So like before his shows, he would go out and just like hang out in the parking lot and like go out and like talk to people because like a lot of people didn't know what he looked like.
That's cool.
Unless they were like super fans.
Yeah.
So like literally he could go just like chill, and they were like pretty famous. So like he could go out and like hang out with people and like no one really know.
Damn, that's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we got a Seinfeld beer.
Yeah, check this one out.
Burley Oak has made the perfect beer. Seinfeld forever.
I think it's Burley Oak.
Burley Oak. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't read. Whatever the letters are scrunched together, I don't know what the fuck it says.
Yeah, so it's I think it's called Hello Newman or no Hello Jerry. Hello Jerry, and it's like Newman themed, like God. With the postal service. Yeah, you can see Newman's like double chin. On
we gotta try them.
Yeah, I don't know where it's made, but it looks fantastic.
The rise and regulation of killer police robots. This is some interesting.
Some RoboCop shit right here.
Okay.
I keep burping up my bay.
I'm burping up my bay too. It was a burpy bay today.
The jalapenos get you.
Oh my goodness. When you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Holy shit.
Larger police departments in the United States have the capacity to arm remote-controlled robots. Fuck this. With lethal weaponry and send those robots in to kill suspects.
It's like Terminator.
Yeah. But should they be able to use that option? 6 years after the Dallas Police Department used a bomb disposal robot to slay a sniper. Wait, what?
Getting hardcore, man.
When did that happen? San Francisco is finally having that discussion. And the liberal city's answer appears to be yes. Here's what you need to know about the police and killer robots. Hopefully they're not police killer robots.
Yeah.
What happened in Dallas? In July,
give them 10 years.
Yeah. Really. In July 2016, a 25-year-old sniper... This is a weird way to introduce.
I don't know.
The guy has a 25-year-old sniper.
Sometimes I'll come across these and like I won't read them too deeply. I'll just submit them.
A 25-year-old young and spry sniper fired on police officers at a protest march in Dallas
with a twinkle in his eye,
killing 5, literally killing 5 officers and wounding 7 more, plus 2 civilians. The gunman bunkered down in a parking garage, entered negotiations with police, but continued firing on them. Yeah, that doesn't mean you're negotiating anymore. When the negotiations failed, the police strapped an explosive device to the manipulator arm of a remote F5A robot, sent it into the garage, and
holy shit. I feel like they could have equally just thrown a grenade.
Okay, well that's just like, so the robot was just a vehicle for the explosive. It wasn't it wasn't killed by a robot.
I was hoping for some Terminator Iron
right.
shit, you know.
But so that's a big leap to go from like, we can strap a bomb to a robot to saying like, we can have robots like shooting people.
I mean, you could say the same about an RC car or a drone.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, you could strap an explosive to a lot of things.
Jesus, yeah.
But, I would really like Terminators that were on our side.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
but
that'd be cool.
Then eventually they'll get,
Skynet fucks them up.
They'll get hacked, and, that's what happens. Judgment Day.
Scary. The next thing we have is Jesus, Film Nerds, Austin Film Flex.
Take it away, Mike.
An Instagram post by The Art of Brooklyn. It's this is bad. This is really bad. Yeah. This looks like shit.
Yeah?
So it's just like a Redbubble, those like poor renderings they do of like what the shirt or the mug will look like.
We'll insert the picture.
Yeah. And it's just a very bland. It just says writer and director and producer and editor, and that's it.
God. These are the type of people that you run into at Great American Pitch Fest, Austin Film Festival, Scottsdale Community College, that are like, I'm a film nerd, Inception.
They have the fucking goal to say, our original design is the perfect gift for the indie filmmaker. This isn't a design, you just put some text on there.
So fucking stupid.
But yeah,
that's an SCC nerd dream.
That is Jesus Film Nerds, Austin Film Flex.
Show you care. Wait a second.
That's just like an ad.
Watch man creates his own freeway sign in LA. Okay, video here. This is amazing. So essentially what happened here is this dude was pissed off about missing his exit. I'll just let you play the video.
Okay.
Check it out. I don't know if we'll get flagged for show this dude's content, will we?
I'm not sure. This is a short. I don't even know how to like...
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's weird. Let's see. Okay. Just read.
It should just play.
This man created a warning sign on the freeway, and it was so perfect, the city used it. Richard Ancrom was driving north on the 110 freeway and missed the merge for the Interstate 5 North and eventually got lost. A few years later, he moved down to LA and was driving down the exact same road and noticed that there was no sign for the I-5 North and realized that's why he got lost last time. Conveniently, Ancrom was an artist and a sign painter. He studied the LA freeway signs to a T, and on August 5th, 2001...
He just goes up and does it. It looks legit, yeah.
It stayed up there for another 8 years because it was made so well that
it looks like it should be there.
The city later officially replaced the sign, but everybody still loved that. This man.
Isn't that so cool?
That's crazy, yeah.
Take an initiative.
Yeah, that's good.
That seems like something Lever Action would do.
It is very Lever Action, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, happy birthday, you're younger.
I love my captions.
All South Koreans to become younger as traditional age systems scrapped. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So like technically they're a year younger or some shit?
So South Korea is to scrap its traditional method of counting ages and adopt the international standard, a change that will knock 1 or 2 years off people's ages on official documents, but could take time to seep into daily life. Whatever that means. South Koreans are deemed to be a year old when they are born, and a year is added every 1st of January. The unusual and increasingly unpopular custom means a baby born on New Year's Eve becomes 2 years old as soon as the clock starts.
That's so like impersonal.
It's really stupid.
Jesus, that's so weird. I didn't know that.
That's like very odd.
They all the same. They don't have a birthday.
It's weird.
Now I'm a year older. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Well, I'm glad they're being normal now.
Yeah, it's about time. Yeah.
Something in the milk these days. Ah!
Look at this.
What is this?
You gotta show this picture.
Photo goes viral of 12-year-old... Yeah.
Do you see kids like this?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Alright, read this.
12-year-old Jeremiah Johnson has shocked the internet.
His name's Jeremiah Johnson?
It's dope.
It's like the meme of Jeremiah Johnson.
Johnson won honors at the Youth National Championship this weekend in Miami, and the internet was shook to find out he was 12 years old. Yeah, there's one guy at my school who's like this, who I always thought he like had to be in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of kids who are kind of held back, so they're all like 14-year-olds and stuff. And this kid, he's like tall, he has a deep voice, he has stubble, and he's like really like polite. He like plays lots of basketball. And he's like, is this a good kid?
Mr. LaFave, I'm turning 35.
Yeah, and he's 11. It blows my mind. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, stuff like that's crazy.
So what do you think that is? I mean, obviously, people when you look at yearbook pictures of people in like the 50s, they looked way older. But people, there's videos on that saying, "Oh, it was the style." But I think legitimately they looked older.
Yeah, they look like slightly older, but this is like there's this weird discrepancy where you either are like way too young or like way too old.
Yeah, now there's somewhere it's like you look at the girls that like they look like they're like 20 when they're like well, maybe not 20, but you know what I'm saying. And then you look at the dudes like that. That guy straight up, I would have guessed was like 30.
Yeah,
and he's got like full facial hair and everything. And the guy was how old was he? 12. That's fucking crazy. So I'm like, there's got to be like growth hormones or something in the food or milk because like that dude looks like a grown man. Yeah. But it's weird. I don't know. Strange stuff.
He was even like kind of filled out, like his frame was like because usually the tell is like kids are they're either wiry or just But yeah, he was like
he's like Iron Giant.
He's Iron Giant. Yeah. Jesus, that's weird.
This is one I commented on and someone gave me shit, and I went back at him and basically they were saying. Androgynous names aren't bad, how could you say that? Basically my comment was a joke. I was like, class 101 on how to get your kid to resent you. And it was all about like, androgynous names. Yeah. And someone like, started going at me and I was like, well, let's use the name Moon Unit, for example. Like Frank Zappa named his kid Moon Unit. I'm like, that's shitty.
Yeah, that's fucked.
But Morgan O'Reilly, totally fine.
Yeah, right.
But like, people have no fucking sense of humor,
Androgynous child names are on the rise. In today's etc. section, we'll look at why androgynous child names are on the rise. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. Step 1 on how to make your child resent you. Yeah. Jesus, that's... Yeah.
7.
Yeah. 7.
Now that's the name. I feel like we're squeaking a lot.
We're squeaking a little bit.
We're squeaking.
This is the snowman's fault.
Oh, you little son of a
I'm so sorry.
Don't make me fuck you up.
Reading the headline you have here and then the picture of the woman is just fucking hilarious.
Take it away, buddy.
Did you notice a lot of people are self-diagnosed autistics these days? And it has this weird-looking fucking woman down here named Paris Campbell.
Yeah.
I put the tits in autistic.
Yeah. Female comedian, you guessed it.
Oh my god, dude, the female comedians.
I know.
I've been seeing it. For some reason, Instagram, they're on a lot. Every time I go on Instagram, there's like one female, and it's always like, I want to shoot myself.
I know, every time I go on, it's like, now, there's been a couple that have surprised me. I know you people, sometimes, especially on Instagram, they get really fucking defensive.
Yeah.
But there have been a couple where I'm like, oh, that's actually funny. But it's few and far between. Most of them, I would say about, let's say 85%, it's just, my vagina.
Yeah.
And it's just like these like overly sexualized, shitty jokes. Yeah. And it's like not funny at all. But I will say there are a few who slip through the cracks that actually I've been impressed by. But few and far between.
The last one I saw made me so sad. I remember it specifically because it put me in such a bad mood. Mm-hmm. It was this woman, and she was like, when you're in your 20s, it was like dating in your 30s versus dating in. So
they all gotta have the mom genes.
Yeah. Like dating in your 20s is like, you can whisper sweet nothings to me, and I'll want to fuck you. You can be like, girl, your hair's so beautiful, and I'll be like, yes. But dating in your 30s, you need to say some real shit. You need to say like, I'm in therapy, and I'll be like, I want to find it. It was horrible. Yeah. It was horrible.
That sounds exactly
horrible,
what they're selling. Yeah,
die. Stop doing comedy or die.
And also a big trend now. I've said this a million times. Everyone wants to appear to be way older than they actually are.
Yeah.
So once you hit 30, suddenly it's like people would talk when they're like 55, and everyone's like, "Oh, girl, I just can't club like I used to. My knees are aching." And I'm like, "Calm the fuck down." You're 30, you're not 65.
Maybe you're just not like working out or something, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, but that's so funny. It's like everyone, it's like, I get
right.
it.
That's a weird thing.
I get it. It's like, yeah, we are all getting older for sure, but they're like embellishing it and like leaning on it. And I'm like, calm down.
Yeah.
Go do some Pilates.
Yeah, exactly. These insults were oddly specific.
Read this
one. Oh, yeah.
I want you to read this one.
Teen discovers anonymous cyberbully who harassed her for a year was her mother.
Dope. Toni Collette.
Should be Toni Collette.
Turn it into an A24 movie.
Kendra Licari, 42, was charged earlier this week with 2 counts of stalking a minor with her daughter, 2 counts of using a computer to commit the crime, and another count of obstruction of justice. According to the FBI, Licari targeted her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend since last December and attempted to cover up her act by filing a complaint with the Beale City School Administration. I guess she just really didn't like the boyfriend. I don't know what the hell happened here, but Jesus, that's interesting.
That's going to be an interesting Christmas, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, I got you something.
Jesus Christ. This is the last one.
A restraining order. Right.
Berlin's giant Aquadome Hotel aquarium containing 1,500 fish explode.
This was pretty gnarly. This is pretty gnarly, yeah. It's like something from a James Bond movie. Or Mission Impossible. I think there was an aquarium in the first one, right? Wasn't there? Yeah.
The poor fish.
Yeah, poor babies. Bay.
Oh, baby. Here's a little video. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, maybe later. Register for the BBC. Big Black Hawk.
I want to see the funny video. Oh, no. Okay, so we'll read a little bit as this ad plays. The Aquadome, that's the sequel to the Biodome.
Wow.
Home to 1,500 fish.
Sorry, Polly Shore.
15.8 millimeters high, 52 feet. And was described as the largest freestanding cylindrical... Yeah. What did I say? Millimeters? I don't know. Was
for the micro machine.
Was described as the largest, I was thinking twice, the largest freestanding cylindrical aquarium in the world. I don't think there's a lot of freestanding cylindrical aquariums, but
yeah,
you know, this one's the largest.
Looks gnarly.
Let's watch this video.
BBC. It looks like Ethan Hunt was there and things went awry. Doesn't it? That's hardcore, man.
That's so sad.
And that's a vlog. I wonder if they were able to save any of the fish. Probably not.
Probably not. That's really sad.
Where was this? Berlin?
Yeah, police said there had been incredible damage. Video shows an empty tank with water pouring into the lobby. Guests have been moved. That's so scary.
Seems like something that happened in Dubai, because they're always like doing things way too excessive, and where it's like way too much.
You're right.
But it seems like maybe the engineering's a little better in Dubai. I don't know.
I hope.
Give them time.
Isn't it like an underwater hotel? What if that happens to that? You know,
they're fucked.
Fuck, yeah,
they're
Jesus.
fucked, yeah.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of the ones where it's like you can go into like the bottom of a cave and there's like an Airbnb in the bottom of a cave?
Fuck that.
I would consider. A cave seems a little better. The water one, I don't know.
Yeah.
The ones that are made of ice, fuck that. I'm not doing ice.
Ice is a little scary because I feel like you cave in or
ice.
melt.
Ice baby.
Ice baby, yeah. Should.
That's what we're talking about. So one thing I wanted to talk about, the last part of this podcast, since it is, a Christmas podcast, and we're approaching the end of 2022, something we've done in the past as its own video, I would like to do right now. I would like to say, let's try to throw out some predictions for 2023.
Predictions. You should also mention that one prediction that you made off screen that ended up being true about the economic collapse.
So back when we did a predictions video, I want to say 2019, correct me if I'm wrong, it might have been 2018. We did some things, and one of them came true. I said Metropolis, there'd be an interest in 1920s cinema again as we go into the 2020s. And I said Metropolis, I bet they'll remake. And I said, I hope not, unless it's a series, like a good HBO series. And I think they're going to do it as like an Apple series. So Metropolis is going. So I got one right. I got one right.
That was a very specific one to get right.
Yeah. So I was really happy about that. But one that I recorded, but I left on the cutting room floor and did not add to the video because I didn't want to be a downer and bring people down. Was I said I bet within the next 5 years or so there will be some kind of some kind of economic collapse or some kind of recession. And of course, things are kind of hitting the fan economically.
Yeah.
Luckily, we're not in a depression, but I think it's safe to say this past year we were in a recession.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting, but I feel like that wasn't that big of a prediction because you just look at history. It's just kind of like things kind of come in waves like that, and we were kind of due for one because we were flying really high the last few years. But I would like to hear positive and negative from you. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments as well, your predictions for things, good and bad. But yeah, Emmett, kick us off, man.
Okay, well, I think the news especially keeps trying to hint at shit's going to go down with China and Russia, and you always hear tensions are climbing.
They've been doing that for years.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's going to amount to anything. I think the Ukraine and all that, it's going to, whatever happens is going to stick between Russia and Ukraine. Hopefully. And yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then everything will go back to normal, honestly. Which is not good or bad, it's just the way things are, I think.
Yeah.
I also think theaters are going to start closing down en masse.
Yeah.
Which makes me very sad, because I love going to the theater, but there aren't theater-going movies anymore. I mean, there are movies in theaters, but even all the big ones you can just stream at home, and people are choosing that over theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think what will happen with that is we'll always have them, but there'll just be less of them.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll ever fully go away, but instead of having 100 theaters in your town, there'll be 10.
Yeah. I don't think they're all going to go away, but yeah, absolutely. I think I think our Fashion Square theater will be okay.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But yeah, they're going to start
dropping.
Dynamics have changed. Actually, I was talking to some people about that. I was talking to you and Emily about that, and she was saying, which I think she was right. We're kind of at the tail end of like the whole Marvel. I don't know what you want to call that. Kind of the event movies.
Yeah.
We're kind of at the end of that. And I think things are going to have to change, and we're going to have some new filmmakers come in and change things up, maybe have some new genres. But as far as, going to the movies, the vibe has changed.
Yeah, it's sad. It's so sad. Yeah. I miss it.
I still go a lot.
Yeah.
But
I still do too.
Not as many people do, I guess.
Yeah, there's something about it that just isn't... They used to be, like, so packed, and so, like, the energy was so different.
Well, streaming has really changed the game.
Yeah, it has, and it's sad.
Yeah.
But, and then I think, I don't know. I don't feel like a lot of stuff's going to change otherwise. I think we kind of...
We can go beyond 2023. We can go further if you want.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to check in. A pulse check every couple of years.
It is a pulse check. Yeah, because 2023 is obviously going to be very political because we're heading to 2024
for sure.
And who was it who told me they think DeSantis? That was you, DeSantis. Yeah,
that's my prediction. I could be wrong, but I think Ron DeSantis will get the Republican nomination, and I think he has a really good chance of becoming the next president.
You're probably right. That seems like a very astute observation.
Yeah, just based on the way he has been trending and based on the way he handled things in Florida during 2020 onward. I could be wrong, and like I said, not necessarily that I'm fully endorsing him or anything like that, but I like him better than what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I think he has a really good chance of making it in there.
I think Trump will not go to jail or whatever they're trying to do to him. They're trying to prosecute him for January 6th. He's not going to go to jail, but he's not going to become president either.
No.
He's just going to keep kind of gliding.
I don't think... Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I don't think they would give him the nomination.
No, yeah.
He's already been in, and I think he had his time, and I think he's kind of doing this now just to kind of put it in their face and kind of ruffle feathers, and it's kind of like maybe a publicity stunt too. It's kind of a little bit of an FU and a little bit of a publicity stunt, but I don't think he's going to go the distance like he did in 2016. And even in 2016, I don't think he thought he was going to go that far. I think he did it kind of as a publicity stunt, and he gained amazing momentum.
Yeah.
But I don't think that'll be replicated because they just, every chance they got, they just gave the guy shit.
Yeah.
Like literally every second of the day. And I just don't think he's going to sign up for that again. I think he'd be better off kind of going off and going back to what he was doing previously.
Truth Social.
I think he'd be better off, with Truth Social or doing kind of what he's doing now, kind of doing like public speaking gigs and kind of being a force out there, a commentator, kind of like more of like a Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But with his own spin. Obviously, Ben Shapiro is totally different.
Yeah.
But I think Ron DeSantis could go the distance.
I think you're absolutely right about that.
There's a good chance. Just throwing the prediction out there.
Yeah. And my most hopeful prediction is that the really toxic and combative political headbutting that's been going around is beginning to very, very slowly and subtly is beginning to diminish. Because I think...
Very slowly.
Yeah. I think the left is tired of trying to force it on everyone, or getting tired, and then the right is, or at least normal people are tired of pretending to keep up with it.
Yeah.
So they're both just slowly settling. Of course, I mean, if you go on Twitter, it looks as bad as always.
Twitter!
The other thing I've noticed, and I want to mention, is that all this stuff with Elon Musk and Twitter... Everyone treats it as the most important fucking thing.
Doesn't something feel a little off about it too?
It feels so off, yeah.
It feels a little off.
Even Elon was the Twitter is he calls it the town square of the world. Yeah, the town square of the world. And all these articles and news outlets are saying this could be the end of democracy. It's just fucking Twitter. And I don't think people realize how little people get into so many arguments on Twitter, as do I, but 90% of that does not translate in any way to what happens in the real world. It all stays on Twitter. People forget
the Twitter
that.
sphere.
Yeah, the Twitter sphere.
The Hello Kitty sphere.
Yeah, the blogosphere. It really is its own self-isolating thing, and people just go on there to kind of vent and spew their own dumb crap, and everyone does that. But it in terms of its effect on the world, it has little to none. I genuinely believe that, and everyone treats it oh, it's the most important thing, and it's the end of the... It's fucking insane to me. But, I don't know. I think
Yeah, I think the left is getting tired of trying to push their agenda, and I think everyone else is getting
both
tired.
sides are getting burned out.
Yeah. And I know personally, I've kind of tried to skirt the line a little bit in the past, and now I'm just kind of done with it. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that whole wave of like canceling is done. Everyone agrees like it's fucking done. They try to throw all these things at us. Cultural appropriation, like getting canceled. There's always like a new thing every year, and it's always so like topical and has such a short shelf life because they have such flimsy bases. Like they're not really based on anything of truth and that is logical.
I've definitely noticed a shift. So the company I work for, pretty big tech company, and a lot of companies I've noticed, and of course a lot of schools, you probably see this as well. They throw in a lot of woke training, like a lot. And one thing that I've noticed, it's not really something that I think that they truly believe. I think it's something that they put out because it's an obligation.
Yeah.
They're doing it to save face and they're doing it to protect themselves because they don't want to come across as being an evil racist company. And it's not so much that they actually take it all to heart. They're doing it as like almost like insurance.
Yeah.
It's like it's protecting them. It's like no.
Yeah.
We put this out so we're not subject to your criticism.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think a lot of companies are doing that, and you can tell that it's pretty much bullshit.
Yeah.
Like there's elements of it, like of course, you don't want your company to be racist. Obviously, like clearly.
Yeah.
We can't condone that. We don't condone discrimination, stuff like that. Obviously, clearly.
Yeah.
But they take it a step further. They make it where it's like there's like
just to play it safe.
4 hours of training on like really intense woke policies.
Yeah.
And there's a point that like everyone who thinks clearly as a rational human being can agree like that we don't do those bad things.
Yeah.
Then there's a whole nother component where you're like, oh, you're just like talking crazy at this point.
Yeah.
Like you're laying it on so thick that it's clearly an act.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think so many companies are doing that, and it's almost become like fine print on a fucking cell phone bill.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it's obligatory.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And I think the whole like it's not straight up. It's like not cool to be trans anymore. I think that whole wave went away.
Oh shit!
And the people who are
I'm out of luck.
The people who are consistently and genuinely trans, that's fine. But obviously, it was like a big like pop thing.
That was another thing. The trainings that I saw.
Yeah.
It was like this person wants to identify as Becky now, and you got to be okay with that. I'm actually not going to get into it, but there was some parts to it where it was like really shoved down your throat, and I was like, well, what does this have to do with our day-to-day job?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it too much. Like I said, if you're trans, that's cool, but when it comes into kind of being shoved down your throat in like work trainings, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
Yeah,
it's very bizarre.
When it goes beyond accepting another person for their differences and it feels forced, that's when it gets kind of odd.
Yeah, it feels like you're never doing enough. Like it keeps getting.
Yeah. Definitely. Silence is violence.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all of that crap is very slowly going away, just because people I think are finally just done. It's not even, and it's so sad because it wasn't even a question of like who's right or who's wrong. It's just like the energy of it all just finally is fucking subsiding.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Well, now I want to talk about a couple negative things that I think could happen. I hope that these predictions aren't right. I hope that I'm wrong on these, but I think within the next year, another disease is going to come up, whether it be COVID-related or something else. I think they were really into the fear-mongering, and the media loves having something to get people into a panic about.
Yeah.
So I think something else will come up. There will be another variant, or there will be something else that's like a monkeypox type thing that will come up. That's going to freak people out and make everyone rush and get toilet paper again.
Yeah.
We'll probably have at least another one of those within the next year and a half, I'm guessing. Hopefully not. I think everyone's tired of that shit. But I'm sure they'll at least try to stir something like that up again. They kind of did with monkeypox a little bit.
They kind of did, yeah.
But let's hope not. Let's hope I'm totally wrong on that. And then I think within the next decade, definitely before 2030, I hate to say this, and I don't condone it. Don't do it. I'm not encouraging you to do this. But I think somewhere in the world we will see independent terrorist attacks that are drone related.
Oh, you're probably right.
So we're going to see people kind of going off and doing explosives on drones, things like that.
You're absolutely right.
And
like the robot that killed the 25-year-old sniper.
But exactly. But causing mayhem with drones, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I said, Don't condone it, but I think it's a distinct possibility.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah. So give them time on that. But as far as good things, I hope Rivian makes it. As far as the electric vehicles, it looks
Lucid's
like
going down, right?
I think Lucid's going to go down. I think Lucid will. I don't know if Lucid will make it to 2030. But they might get bought out by somebody, possibly. But I hope Rivian makes it. They came really close to not meeting their quota, but what do you call it? Meeting their financial benchmark for the year.
Right.
They came really close, and they also got a deal going with Amazon, where they're going to have Rivian Amazon delivery trucks.
And a new Rivian streaming show about the Rivian cars.
Oh, very cool. On the Sierra Rivian.
That's right.
But yeah, Rivian I would love to see succeed. You're going to see, obviously, they're already doing it now. This isn't much of a prediction. But they're doing a huge push towards EV, electric vehicles.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I don't think they're going to be the norm within the next couple of years, but they're going to really start pushing for it. So you're going to see a hell of a lot more of those cars every single year leading up to the 2030s.
Yeah.
I think in about 10 years, it might be more of the norm, where maybe like every third car will be an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
But it's at least another decade away. There's way too much tied up in fossil fuels right now.
Yeah.
And just there's so many cars like ours on the road that need gasoline.
Yeah.
So they're not going to go away anytime soon, but they really are pushing towards that.
It's just so interesting because I'm not a scientist. I don't know about the shit. But
You're not a scientist?
Not yet. But I've heard so many people talk about how like the creation of an electric car like costs more energy and is like worse for the environment than fossil fuels. Like I don't know how that stuff works or makes. I don't know how that works, but I've heard a lot of people say that. So I don't know. Like I don't know if it from like a layman's perspective, obviously it looks very clean. You think of like the gas going into the air and that's bad. But, like it's just like a quieter electric vehicle. It feels very clean and nice and healthy. Hat. You're right, I should. I'm sorry. Where'd it go? Oh, baby. We'll get it quickly.
Holy shit. Oh. Killed the momentum. Hello, everybody. You look good. You lost weight. Nice.
Thank you.
I was talking to the audience.
But anyway, my point is, I don't know if it's like about the environment anymore with those cars, and I think it's more about. I don't know exactly what it's about.
I think there's a little bit of virtue signaling in there?
Definitely a little bit of virtue signaling, and I don't even think they don't even push that agenda when they sell you the car. It's not like help the environment. It's like here's a cool fucking car.
Yeah,
I think it's.
And my thing is, I do like a lot of them. Like if if I had the money, I'd get a Rivian. Yeah, like they look sick. Yeah. But at the same time, would I still want a classic Chevelle that guzzles gas? Yeah,
absolutely.
I want a both.
Yeah.
But I get it. I'm not shitting on it at all.
Yeah.
Some of those Teslas are badass.
Yeah, they are.
So I definitely am not mad about it.
Yeah.
But I do think. EV is the future, and you're going to see a lot of our governments really pushing towards it and putting a lot of funding towards it. And
California is trying to eliminate the gas by like 2025 or something.
Yeah, you're going to see a huge. I mean, we already are, but you're going to see huge incentives pushing in that direction.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm. What else? We should do one more prediction each.
Bless you, Snowball.
Oh, I heard a baby.
Oh, a baby just sneezed.
I heard a baby. Let me think. Yeah, do you think the canceling's done? We've seen a lot of people weasel out of it. Like Brian Callen, they tried to cancel. Marilyn Manson, they tried to cancel within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Both of those guys rebounded perfectly fine.
Yeah, right.
Perfectly fine. So I think it's becoming a little harder to cancel. Johnny Depp bounced back pretty well.
Yeah.
All things considered. And Amber Heard, what a bitch.
He canceled the cancelers.
So that's really nice to see. It's nice to see some victories. And like I said, if someone really deserves to be canceled, they did some heinous shit, of course.
Yeah.
But you got guys like that who just, kind of were under fire for kind of the wrong reasons. Yeah. It's like, hey man, come on.
Yeah.
But, let's see. I don't know if I have any others right now.
Canceled. It's such a sarcastic, stupid term.
Yeah, it's dumb. Things are shifting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of out of ideas right now.
Yeah, we're at a weird time where, for a while there, things felt very tumultuous or whatever. But life is weird, and those moments usually never erupt into anything truly meaningful.
I think it's also part of us growing up.
Yeah,
it's like we're getting older, and it's like, as everyone is, shocker. But we're kind of learning to roll with the punches a little bit. It's like we've seen how it plays out, and things change, of course, but like at the end of the day, it's like you can kind of just focus on your life.
Yeah.
You focus on the things you can control. Control your situation, control your family, your job as much as you can. But like at the end of the day, it's like I can't control Russia.
Right. Yeah.
I can't control politics as much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
And we can put our voice out there and try to, put our opinions out there and maybe make small changes.
Right.
But as far as like getting out there, it's like we got to leave that to Warhammer with his Uzi.
It's true. And things more often than not, usually, hopefully, thankfully, always just come back down to the status quo and everything keeps being unfazed and unchanged. You know,
it all comes back to playing Tekken with Max.
Yeah.
I love how Max Lefebvre said that. He's such a great man. I love him. We were all hanging out yesterday doing a Lefebvre Bros video.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. And Max was saying, no matter what we do, no matter how old we get, no matter what's going on with work, with our relationships, with our life, it always ends up back in this room playing Tekken with the boys.
That's exactly.
And I was like, that's the best.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
That's true.
And do you? So I know New Year's resolutions. We always say I don't do them; they're stupid. But I always kind of have some that I work on early that are always like kind of constants. It's not necessarily that it's just strictly a New Year's resolution. But the New Year switching is a reminder that there's certain things that I need to jump on and go into a little bit harder, because I've noticed, every single year it seems like the years are going by a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Our perception of things has changed a little bit, where it's like it seems like the last couple of years just flew by.
For sure.
And I'm like, damn, I need to do more.
Yeah.
So do you have anything like that of things that, not necessarily New Year's resolutions, but they're things that you just kind of want to do differently this year compared to last year?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I realized all the, like, eating right or getting in shape resolutions are just because this time of year is, like, stressful and busy, and so you're, like, stress eating and you don't have time to work out.
Yeah.
So that's just, like, that's not even a New Year's thing. It's just, like...
It's an all the time thing.
Yeah, and it's a very, like, moment-to-moment thing. It's, like, for the last few weeks, I've been, like, getting fat and not working out, so...
I'm right there with you, sister.
But that's not, like, and then it always is fine.
We always
but, yeah, and I think... And you're supposed to kind of bulk up for the winter anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's cold out.
Chipmunk.
Yeah. But in terms of resolutions, I don't know. I think for me, one that I am going to try to do is, since I've been making a little bit more money lately, I've been spending a lot of it on dumb shit like Star Wars action figures.
Yeah, I do
a little too much.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try,
right there with
try and bring it down on that end of things.
Okay.
And try to save a little more.
Yeah, and then just buy one giant one for 10 grand.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be, which is kind of what I did.
Yep. Beautiful. Should we tell them, or will they want to wait?
We can tell them. Yeah, I bought a custom full suit of Mandalorian armor.
Nice.
So that's gonna be here in a few weeks or so.
Congrats.
Yeah, so that's it. That's kind of like that's the climax of all this shit for me, because I've been kind of reliving what I would have wanted in my childhood. And it's been fun, and now I'm getting to the point where it's a little embarrassing, it's a little too much, but I'm still gonna fucking wear the armor.
I've been doing
every
a lot
day.
of that too, and I feel like we've always done that. We've always collected toys and comics and stuff like that. But I feel like I've been leaning heavy into it this year.
Me too.
And I think it's because the only thing I can think of is like I'm always consistently going to do that.
Yeah.
But another thing is like we're making a little bit better money.
Yeah.
And also 29 going on 30.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I need
this
to
is
buy
the
more
last-
toys. I'm
this is
hanging
the
on.
last time to do this.
But my thing is, if I live to be an old man, I will continue to always buy toys and comics.
Absolutely.
And records. Like that's not going to change.
Yeah.
If I live to be 90, I will be buying Spider-Man toys.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, my resolution is to save more, which I think is
That's good.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, to be more financially secure.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a good year-round. Healthy, obviously, work out more.
Yeah.
Those are implied.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Those are implied. One thing I want to do harder and better than last year as far as the channel is more variety of content and kind of more ambitious projects, which I feel like I'm already kind of doing.
You are. Yeah.
Got some stuff coming down the pipeline, Unfazed review and
Very exciting.
Unfazed frights as well that I think you guys will be pretty ecstatic about,
Yeah.
actually. Got some really cool ones that I think are going to kind of come out of left field a little bit that are really great. But I just want to do more. I want to, with this new job, I left my previous job because it was a little misleading. My last job, I met some great people. It was a good opportunity, but there was no opportunity for advancement. They were teasing, being able to go over into a different department, and I was helping out that department for a while, and nothing came of it. A lot of opportunities were dangled in front of me and pulled away, and I got pissed off.
Yeah.
And finally, it came time to cut ties with that company and go to a different job. And my new job that I have will have a little bit more flexibility with my schedule. So I'm going to have
more time,
more time to make videos, and not a lot. I'm still going to be working, but definitely more time than before.
Yeah.
I'm going to have more time every week to dedicate to you guys and to the channel. So I'm super excited about it. I'm really glad that I took that plunge. If you guys are in a similar situation where maybe you're feeling stuck at work or something's not working out, I encourage you to do what I did and make a big change, make a shake-up. It's like it's possible to take control of your life and steer the ship in a different direction. And sometimes you need to do that, because I was getting pretty miserable. I was getting to a point where I was getting worn out at the other job. It was not working.
Yeah.
And I was really missing making content 'cause I was so burned out at the end of the week, and I just wasn't doing what I loved.
Right.
I kind of fell out of step. So hopefully I'll be able to do more stuff for you guys. And just this year, like I said, I want to do more ambitious projects. I want to travel more, definitely.
Absolutely.
God willing, weather permitting, health permitting.
Yep.
Knock on wood. But yeah, I want to blow your guys' minds. That's what I want
Absolutely.
to do. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful note to leave it on.
It's been wonderful.
Good sage advice.
I agree. And hey, if you guys are feeling generous in the Christmas spirit, consider becoming a patron.
Oh.
Yes, because we love the patrons, and
we actually just recently purchased a gift for all of Unfazed with patron money, so thank you, patrons, so much.
Yes.
You will see what that is shortly. I'm really excited about
I'm so excited. Yeah, you guys took care of the lion's share of it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something that is going to enhance the podcast tremendously.
A lot,
So thank you guys for that, and we can always use more patrons if you guys want to join in, become elite Unfazed crew members. We would truly appreciate it. Link below. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
And remain unfazed. Goodbye, guys. Don't be a Grinch.